Right, welcome to a set of tutorials on making levels or maps for Team Fortress 2 with the Hammer World editor from Valve. I'm going to split these into fairly short video clips so you don't have to take them all in one go, and you can jump around and pick the bits that you want to either see the first time or review. This first one is going to make sure you've got everything you need up and running and ready to create your levels. Here I'm logged into Steam. If you go to steampowered.com, you can download the Steam client for free, and you will need to buy a copy of the game you want to create levels for. For this one we're going to do Team Fortress 2, so I have purchased and installed Team Fortress 2. Under Tools, you will then be allowed to download the Source SDK, which will be free once you bought Team Fortress 2. Make sure that you launch and run Team Fortress 2 before you launch the Source SDK, so it creates all the files for you, otherwise you will get a lot of errors. But having run it once, I can now launch my SDK, and that will give me the option to launch the editor, the Hammer editor, which is from this window, Hammer editor, and double click, and it launches the Hammer editor. And in we go. The Hammer World editor is where we create all our maps, and where actually, if you enjoy making levels, you'll spend an awful lot of time in having fun, really. So I can now file, I can now choose new, up pops the window, and this is our editor showing a 3D representation of our world, a top-down approach, top-down view, side view and end view. Set of tools, this guy here will allow us to click and drag and create a brush, which is a 3D object, and I should change the default texture here. Browse it, and in the filter type no draw, and bring up the no draw texture. This won't be created until I press return, so I've selected no draw, which means that if I don't see any parts of this brush in the game, it won't draw the texture, which will save memory and increase performance. With the mouse over this area, I hit return and it creates it. I can move with my mouse over any of these windows using the cursor keys. I can move left, right, up and down. With the mouse wheel I can zoom in and out. Here I can increase the grid, decrease the grid. And this guy here, if I press Z, I can now fly around with my W, A, S and D keys and my mouse. Z again and out, and I can move the mouse around. What's nice is if you click on this window here, under View 3D Textured Polygons, it will show you the texture you're looking at. Leaving these in wireframes is a lot more useful. Finally, if I want to apply a texture to here, I press Escape so nothing's selected. Bring up my texture box. I can change the texture I want to use by typing a filter of, if I type generic, you'll find the orange one you're used to after I clicked on Browse. Make sure mode is on Apply, Textures and Values, and I can go over here and click and it applies. I can press Z again and I can fly around, and if I want to I can apply the texture to the other faces as well. Groovy. And there's our big game world. This, just for reference, was 1024, press Z, sorry, press Z, come out of there, 1024 by 1024, I click on here and it's selected here and here. I want to change the texture, escape out so I've not selected anything, hit textures, browse, choose another texture. I'll stay with filtered on generic here, so I can pick, say, the grey one. This is on apply and it applies. If I press Z, I can then fly around and apply the texture to other surfaces. I don't need to do the bottom really because I'll never see it, but it gets you into the practice. I'm not going to show you anything else at this stage. What I suggest is you use this brush tool to start playing around with making objects. How about, for example, a wall? Change this to no draw. Having used it recently, I can click on this drop down list and choose no draw and hit return. I can create another wall, and it's still no draw already. That's great. Just need to move it up so it sits there for our wall. Hit return. Draw another one. Move it up. You see it's there. Hit return, and then do a nice big one, return, click on it there, oops, sorry, choose to select, and I can drag that over. Cool, got a room, hit escape, bring up textures, I can pick up a recently used texture if I want. It's on apply, press Z so I can fly around, and I can apply all my textures. Just like painting without a mess really. Press Z, change my texture to another one I've recently used, Z again, press Z again, close, and there we go. Just a quick demonstration, press Z and I can fly around. Beautiful work of art. Okay, that's it for now. I suggest you spend as much time as you like just playing around and creating things just for the sheer hell of it. Have fun.